Humidity gets a bad rap, but for some flowering plants it is basically paradise. If your home feels a little tropical most days, you're already halfway to success. These plants love warm air, moisture and steady conditions that other plants complain about. Instead of fighting the humidity, you can use it to grow blooms that look fuller, brighter and last longer. Some of these flowers naturally come from rainforests, coastal regions and humid valleys. That means less stress, fewer problems and more color in your space. Whether you live in a humid climate or just have a steamy kitchen or bathroom, this list is for you. Let's jump into the top flowering plants that actually thrive when the air stays moist. Million bells, also known as calabracho, are built for humid air because they naturally come from regions with warm temperatures and steady moisture in the atmosphere. In humid conditions, their small trumpet-shaped flowers stay open longer and produce heavier blooming cycles compared to dry air environments. Studies from commercial growers show that calabracho performs best when humidity stays above 60%, which helps prevent bud drop and keeps petals from drying too fast. These plants have a fine root system that absorbs moisture efficiently from the air and soil, making them less stressed in damp environments. With bright light and consistent watering, they can produce hundreds of blooms over a single growing season, even in sticky weather. Unlike many flowering plants, they handle moisture without fungal issues when air circulation is decent. That combination makes million bells a reliable choice for humid homes, balconies and greenhouses where other flowers struggle to keep blooming. Verbena thrives in humidity because it naturally grows in warm climates where moist air and sun go hand in hand. In higher humidity levels, verbena shows stronger stem growth and more continuous flowering compared to dry conditions. Horticultural trials show verbena maintains peak bloom production when humidity stays between 55 and 70%, which helps reduce flower drop. The plant's slightly textured leaves manage moisture well without trapping excess water, which lowers stress in humid air. With full sun and well-draining soil, verbena can bloom non-stop for months, even during muggy weather. Its deep root system helps balance moisture intake so it does not suffer from sudden humidity changes. This makes verbena a dependable flowering plant for humid regions, patios and indoor spaces with warm, moist air. Snapdragons perform surprisingly well in humid conditions when temperatures stay moderate and airflow is steady. These flowering plants naturally grow in coastal and temperate regions where moisture in the air helps keep blooms firm and colorful. Research from ornamental plant trials shows snapdragons maintain longer flower life when humidity stays around 60%, which prevents petals from drying and fading early. Humid air also supports stronger stem development, allowing the tall flower spikes to stay upright. With bright light and evenly moist soil, snapdragons can keep producing fresh blooms even in damp environments. Their slightly waxy leaves help manage moisture without inviting rot when conditions are balanced. This makes snapdragons a solid choice for gardeners and indoor growers dealing with humid air. Black-eyed Susan thrives in humid conditions because it is naturally adapted to warm summers and moisture-rich air. In regions where humidity stays around 60 to 70%, this plant shows stronger flowering and longer-lasting blooms. Field studies in North America show black-eyed Susan produces more flower heads per plant when grown in humid climates with good sunlight. Moist air helps keep the petals firm and prevents early wilting during peak bloom season. With full sun and well-draining soil, the plant handles humidity without developing disease issues. Its deep root system balances water intake even during sticky weather. This makes black-eyed Susan a tough and reliable flowering plant for humid homes, gardens and balconies. Blanket flower does well in humidity because it evolved in warm open regions where air moisture and sunlight work together. When humidity levels stay around 50 to 65%, the blooms remain brighter and last longer without drooping. Research from native plant trials shows blanket flower maintains steady flowering in humid summers as long as the soil drains well. The plant's coarse textured leaves allow moisture to evaporate quickly, which helps prevent rot in damp air. With full sun and controlled watering, it can produce continuous blooms even during muggy weather. Its natural heat tolerance pairs well with humid conditions without stressing the plant. That makes blanket flower a dependable choice for areas where humidity is part of everyday life. Geraniums thrive in humidity because they are naturally adapted to warm climates with moisture in the air. In humid conditions, their flowers stay fuller and the leaves remain firm without wilting quickly. Horticulture studies show geraniums perform best when humidity stays between 55 and 70%, which supports steady bloom production. Moist air helps reduce water stress so the plant does not dry out too fast during warm days. With bright light and well-draining soil, geraniums can flower continuously for several months even in sticky weather. Their thick stems and slightly fuzzy leaves help manage moisture without inviting rot. This balance makes geraniums a reliable flowering plant for humid homes, balconies and garden spaces. Butterfly weed handles humidity well because it is native to regions with warm summers and moisture in the air. In humid conditions, the plant shows stronger stem growth and more vibrant flower clusters. Field research on native perennials shows butterfly weed maintains healthy blooming when humidity stays around 50 to 65% with good sunlight. Moist air helps support nectar production, which also attracts more pollinators. With full sun and well-draining soil, it tolerates humidity without developing fungal problems. Its deep taproot helps regulate moisture intake during sticky weather. This makes butterfly weed a resilient flowering plant for humid climates and gardens. Lantana thrives in humidity because it comes from tropical and subtropical regions where warm moist air is the norm. In humid conditions, lantana produces denser flower clusters and maintains bright color for longer periods. Agricultural trials show lantana performs best when humidity stays between 60 and 70%, especially during active blooming. Moist air reduces stress on the plant and supports continuous flowering through hot, sticky weather. With full sun and well-draining soil, lantana can bloom almost non-stop even in peak summer humidity. Its tough, slightly textured leaves handle moisture without breaking down easily. This makes lantana an excellent flowering plant for humid homes, patios, and outdoor spaces. CELOSIA thrives in humidity because it originates from tropical regions where warm, moist air is constant. In humid environments, the flower plumes stay fuller and hold their color longer without drying out. Grower trials show CELOSIA performs best when humidity remains around 60 to 70%, which supports strong bloom development. Moist air helps reduce stress during high temperatures and keeps the stems from weakening. With bright sunlight and well-draining soil, CELOSIA continues flowering steadily even in muggy conditions. Its sturdy, upright growth handles humidity without collapsing or rotting easily. This makes CELOSIA a bold and reliable flowering plant for humid homes, gardens, and balconies. Daylilies perform well in humidity because they are naturally adapted to warm climates with moist air and changing weather. In humid conditions, their blooms open fully and last longer without shrinking or drying too fast. Studies from perennial garden trials show daylilies maintain strong flowering when humidity stays between 55 and 70%, especially during summer. Moist air supports healthy leaf growth, which helps the plant store energy for repeat blooming. With full sun and well-draining soil, daylilies continue to flower reliably even in sticky weather. Their thick roots help balance moisture intake and prevent stress during humid spells. This makes daylilies a tough and dependable flowering plant for humid regions and home gardens. DELPHINIUM can thrive in humidity when temperatures stay moderate and airflow is steady. These flowering plants naturally grow in regions where cool moisture in the air supports tall, strong flower spikes. Garden trials show delphiniums perform best when humidity stays around 50 to 65%, which helps prevent bud drop and weak stems. Moist air keeps the blooms fresh and vibrant instead of drying out too quickly. With bright light, evenly moist soil, and good drainage, delphiniums can flower successfully even in humid conditions. The deep root system helps regulate water uptake during changing weather. This makes delphinium a beautiful yet manageable choice for humid climates when grown with proper care. CLEOME thrives in humidity because it is native to warm regions where moist air supports fast growth and continuous flowering. In humid conditions, CLEOME develops taller stems and larger flower clusters that stay open longer. Garden performance studies show CLEOME flowers best when humidity stays between 55 and 70% combined with good sunlight. Moist air reduces stress during hot days and helps prevent premature flower drop. With full sun and well-draining soil, CLEOME continues blooming steadily even in sticky summer weather. Its open, airy growth allows moisture to move through the plant, which lowers disease risk. This makes CLEOME a strong flowering option for humid gardens, balconies, and warm home environments. Dahlias thrive in humidity when warmth and moisture stay balanced throughout the growing season. In humid air, their large blooms develop fuller petals and richer color without drying at the edges. Grower trials show dahlias perform best when humidity remains around 60 to 70%, which supports steady bud development and longer bloom life. Moist air helps reduce water stress during hot days and keeps the stems flexible instead of brittle. With full sun and well-draining soil, dahlias can flower continuously even in muggy conditions. Their tuber-based root system stores energy and manages moisture efficiently during humidity swings. This makes dahlias a standout flowering plant for humid climates, patios, and indoor growing spaces with good light. If your space stays warm and humid, these flowering plants are already on your side. With the right light and simple care, they will reward you with stronger growth and longer-lasting blooms. Humidity does not have to be a problem when you choose plants that naturally love it. Try one or mix a few and let your space stay colorful all season long. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to like the video and share it with someone who loves flowers. Subscribe to the channel for more plant guides that actually work in real homes.